What's going on, guys? Welcome to another one of Black Iron's battles. Today we've got a Total War Warhammer 2 treat for you guys. We've got a Game 4 in Shadow Online Gaming's YouTubers tournament, and today we are using the Wood Elves and we are up against Shadow himself. He's taking the Tomb Kings. You can see he's up there on top of the hill, and you can see that my Wood Elf army is arrayed down here at the bottom. So right off the bat, let's go ahead and get this started because this is a really long, good match, and I want to get right into it. So right off the bat, you'll see there, I did take that Glady for my hero. She does have the Parry of Anathema to increase that, to decrease the missile resistance of the opponent for 16 seconds, and also holds them in place. So all of the missiles of everyone who attacks do extra damage while that is activated, and so you can really snipe out some heroes with that. Arrows of Kurnus, and also the Eye of Kurnus, that buff that adds 10% armor-piercing missile damage to anything in the circle around her. So to go with that Glady, we also have a bunch of ranged units. You can see here we've got two groups of Glade Guard with Hagbane tips. Right in here, they do that poison damage, so they will do slowing. They've got plenty of range. They'll slow their opponents, and they can do some pretty good damage as well. And they'll help with that Prey of Anathema. They'll help stack their damage with these Way Watchers. So we do have two groups of Way Watchers over here, and I love the way that Way Watchers look. You can see them here in their cloaks, and they do armor-piercing missile damage. So you can see there 23 of their missile damage is armor piercing. So when you add that together with the 10% armor piercing from the Glade Lord, if she happens to be nearby them, or there's a lot of damage that they can drop really quickly. Over here in the forest, you'll see there are some Tomb Kings units, and we do have a group of Wild Riders over here as well. So you can see, we'll get to the Tomb Kings in 1 second, but we do have this one group of Wild Riders over here. They're ready to do major damage. They've got Frenzy, they've got a ton of weapon strength, great charge bonus. I love those Wild Riders whenever I'm into Wood Elves. So we've got some Way Watchers, we've got the Wild Riders. Glade Lord over here on the left, hiding in the forest, and I did know this was going to be a forest map, so I was able to put my Spell Singer right here in the forest, and we do have Blessing of the Ancients, so that'll increase the power reserves. She is in the forest. She's going to be getting extra power, extra recharge, and that'll help me get these life blooms off by casting Earthblood and also the Dweller's Blow. So we do have that big direct damage spell, AoE direct damage, and that should be able to help us out in the big clumped up fighting that you do against the Tomb Kings. That Dweller's Blow is, it's really able to change the game if you get a big clump of units in it. Here in the back, you'll see we don't have we have one group of Wardancers with Azrai Spears to use their anti-large against maybe any constructs we face against. We've also got two groups of regular Wardancers over here, so they don't have, those are more anti-infantry. They don't have the same weapon strength, or they don't have the same anti-large bonus, but they do have way better melee attacks. So you can see that's 44 to these Azrai Spears 30. So these are kind of like the Frenzy, light armor, just damage dealing Wardancers. They're going to get in there and do some major work. Here in the front, you'll see we've got actually 5 groups of Eternal Guard. We've got 3 groups that actually don't have shields, and then 2 groups with shields. So you can see there the groups with shields are out in the front. You see there some of those nice cheap Eternal Guard, and they're, I wasn't planning on too many arrows, skeleton archers from the Tomb Kings. So that was that's my army there. You can see it's all wrapped up, and so we'll go ahead and get into Shadow's army over here on the right. First, since we already saw them, he does have this one group of skeleton horsemen. You can see them in here. They do have that shield, but they are not quality. So they're not the same tier as the Wild Riders. Wild Riders are more tier 3. These are skeleton horsemen are pretty much tier 1. So they'll get wrecked pretty easily by those Wild Riders. But here is a big bad boy. There is a Tomb Scorpion. You see it's already taken a ton of damage from one volley. I'm glad I paused it. Those Way Watchers got one volley off, and they were able to look at the damage that was done to that Tomb Scorpion. So that is going to be so nasty that he has the Shadow had it vanguarded. It's really unlucky for him that I was also happened to be vanguarded right in that same forest way off to the side there. You see that? I mean, look how far this is off. So the one thing about vanguarding your army that I will say is that he cannot support them. I mean, if these guys get caught out, he is not gonna, his army is so far away. So I mean, it is kind of sneaky, but that is a lot of resources to put over someplace where you cannot help with your own army. Here in his main forces, you can see here in the front line, he's got some of those Nakara warriors. So those are 45 armor. They've got low melee defense, only 26, even though they have 37 melee attacks. So they'll get in there and they'll do a bunch of damage, but they'll also die pretty quickly. So they do have a bit of a glass cannon effect, which is really good for the Realm of Souls charges and stuff. They'll get in there, do their damage, and they'll die. But and with 4 groups of them there in the front, that should be plenty to get that Ushapti summon and also to do some good damage to the cheap frontline infantry. You know, these guys will cut through my regular Eternal Guard, I think. I'm not positive, but they should. You can also see Shadow here. He's got Settra on top of this Warsphinx. Oh, that is so strong. That is one of my favorite things to do. And you can see here he's got, I mean, all sorts. He's got the Curse. He's got Unyielding Will, so he's increasing damage around him. He's going to be able to use the Wrath of Tra, and he's also got the Blessed Blade of Tra, so he is ready to do major work with Settra on there. That is a ton of money spent on Settra and all of those goodies. Here you can see he's got 2 groups of skeleton archers. In the back, he also has that Regiment of Renown, Ushapti Greatbows, the Chosen of the Gods. These guys are so strong with those armor-piercing missiles. They also have the Shield Breaker, those split arrows that break up in the air. They're so awesome. Here in the back, he does have 1 group of regular armor-piercing anti-infantry Ushapti. They're armored. They've got huge weapon strength. Low melee attack, though. So if you can buff them, you know, you buff them with the some of Settra's abilities, or you know, that is really the way to go. If you can get these in there next to Settra, the Ushapti, with higher melee attack, it really helps him out. Here in the back, he does have 1 group of defensive skeleton spearmen, probably to protect his Casket of Souls. And so last but not least, he does have a Casket of Souls in here. You can see those bones all just piled up, the casket on top, and he is ready. That is a magical artillery. You can see here 860 missile damage. I mean, it is a ton of damage. These things just do, but they're very inaccurate. So I mean, we'll see if he can maybe land it on my Wood Elves. For me, the Casket of Souls, I don't bring it. I won't bring the Casket of Souls. I think that you'd be better served by some more Ushapti Greatbows or something like that, at least with the way the game is balanced now. But we'll have to wait and see how it turns out in this match. So I know that was kind of a long-winded and probably way too descriptive intro, but we'll go ahead and we'll see how this big front line gets started. So right off the bat, you'll see that we are going to just start, you know, take a look, and Shadow's army is going to start moving right up towards me. But the most important thing, let's go ahead and get over here on the right, is you can see that we are taking tons of shots in here with those Way Watchers right into this Tomb Scorpion. So they are blasting at the Tomb Scorpion. You can see that the Skeleton Horsemen have already taken a ton of health damage. They're already down more than half their models. You can see another volley there coming. And I know I don't want to waste the big armor-piercing attacks on those Skeleton Horsemen, but at the same time, you really don't want them to be charging into the Way Watchers also. So you can see there that one little charge they got in killed a bunch of Way Watchers. But we still got, but we do have the Glade Lord over here. You can see we've got 2 groups of Way Watchers. The Glade Lord's going to shoot arrows of Kurnus right in there, do some major damage. And this Tomb Scorpion is already down to half health. So if he loses this Tomb Scorpion and those Skeleton Horsemen all over here without really taking, and boom, there we go. You can see right when he started to get close, we are going to drop that Prey of Anathroma. It reduces his missile parry by 22%. You can see he's got just health is just dropping off him. There's volleys coming in from those Way Watchers, and that's going to be about that. That Tomb Scorpion is done, and right even before this, these units on the left even start to get engaged. So that, even though some big stuff happened over there on the right, there's actually been some good fire coming in from those Chosen of the Gods as well as the Casket of Souls, and we've lost a bunch of our frontline units to those Skeleton Archers as well. Makes me wish I had brought more shields, but luckily he is shooting right now at the group of Eternal Guards there with shields. You can see here in the front line that he has used Usek's Incantation of Desiccation. So my frontline units here look at that, their melee attack is down to 1. They're doing pretty much nothing, and it is getting crazy on me. I've got to get these Wild Riders over here. I'm starting to bring them in. Let's go ahead and slow this down for just a second so we can show you what happened. Over here on the right, you can see there's a dead Tomb Scorpion. We're starting to move all of all of our Way Watchers back into the battle. We've got our main Lord who's coming back in as well, so she'll be bringing in that armor-piercing missile damage. Hopefully we can get her over the top. And you hear in the back, those Glade Guard with Hagbane tips, they haven't really been shooting because they kind of got pushed back a little bit. At the same time, because over here on the left, you can see that the Spellsinger of Life is actually engaged with these two groups of Skeleton Horsemen, which are coming out of the flank. So I think I may have missed them in the beginning, but those Skeleton Horsemen are coming super nasty right in the back here, and we are having to run these Glade Guard away so quickly. We do not want them to get caught. I think this group of Skeleton Horsemen will actually catch one group of Glade Guard. You see here, they're going to ride them down. And at this point, we're trying our very best. And you see, he is actually getting a Realm of Souls boost as well. And we're going to try our best to get these Eternal Guard and everything into try to engage these Skeleton Horsemen. You see the Glade Guard shooting in there. And we're going to try to wipe these Skeleton Horsemen right out. So you see, they actually weren't able to really cut through too many Glade Guards. So we're still doing all right. Those Skeleton Horsemen are just not that strong. Over here on the right, the Way Watchers have finally gotten engaged. And they're going to start blasting in here. I have started using them to shoot in at these Skeleton Archers here in the back. They were shooting in, so I really wanted to get them taken out. You can see we've also engaged our Glady in melee, so she's going to be in here. She'll be able to damage these Skeleton Archers no problem. She's getting a couple kills, and you see they're immediately going to dissolve. So if we take an overarching look at the battle right now, we have all of these archers, all of these Way Watchers starting to fire in, and they're just going to continue just raining that heavy armor-piercing missile damage. Over here on the left, you can see that we've actually used the Dwellers below. We were able to kill off another group of Skeleton Horsemen, and my Spellsinger of Life was actually down so low that I felt I had to use the Dwellers below. So we killed this group of Skeleton Horsemen. We're still alive with our Spellsinger, and we are getting some shots in here from the Glade Guard in the back who have also cleared away their Skeleton Horsemen. You can see that it's just about even here in the back. Our Wild Riders have engaged some Skeleton Archers, but they're, you know, also getting healed from that Realm of Souls. So, you know, Shadow is getting pretty close to summoning that second group of Ushapti, which will really give him a huge boost. You see his regular Ushapti here, they're doing okay. We do have a group of Eternal Guard with shields charging into the back of a group of Skeleton Spearmen. But here in the middle, Settra the Imperishable, up on top of that, that Warsphinx has actually got Prey of Anathrama on him, and we're going to be trying to focus fire on him down really soon. You see here the Nakaran warriors are starting to take some major damage. There's 3 groups left. One group has already crumbled, as you saw. And here in the back, we've actually got our Glady on top of that Casket of Souls. So you can see the Glady on top of the Casket of Souls doing some major damage there. Just gonna take that Casket of Souls right out. So at this point, you can see here the Settra the Imperishable is taking some hits. We're trying to get those Way Watchers in there with their armor piercing to try to kill Settra. And it's okay if he's engaged in those Eternal Guard as well, because they do have anti-large. And after this Glade Lord is able to kill that Casket of Souls, we're going to pull her out of there quickly because she's starting to get targeted by those Ushapti Great Bows. You can see there's still some Skeleton Archers firing in. We've got all sorts of units here in the back, and we are trying to battle off that group of Ushapti, which was summoned finally with that Tier 3 Realm of Souls. And we kept our Wardancers with Azrai Spears here in the back. You can see the Glade Guard are going to get routed off. They're broken, but we are going to take out these Ushapti quickly. We've got the Glade Guard kind of shooting in here, poisoning them. We've got plenty of anti-large here, and we should take them out momentarily. Here in the back, you can see Settra coming in here, taking some heavy shots on the side from those Way Watchers. We've also got this group of Eternal Guard here guarding against another group of Ushapti in there. You can see them swing those scimitars. They're trying to just cut it apart. And of course, these regular Eternal Guard and these Way Watchers, they're going to go down pretty quickly, but not before they get some good damage here on the right with this group of Way Watchers. Here in the middle, you can see the Spellsinger of Life engaged with a group of Skeleton Spearmen who have, look at that, they've got Jaff's Incantation of Cursed Blades. They're going to actually do some good damage to the Spellsinger now. Oh my god, the Spellsinger is going to get routed off by just a regular group of Skeleton Spearmen. But Settra the Imperishable is getting down very low. And you can see here we've also done some good damage in the back realm and cleaned ourselves out. So we now are able to start advancing with our Glade Guard. We're starting to take some shots in at these Nakaran warriors. And these guys without any shields are pretty much just going to wither under the fire of this one healthy group of Glade Guard. So, I mean, you can see they're all starting to crumble. The Glade Guard is still going to be shooting in. There's no shield, so they're pretty much going to die. A few of these Eternal Guard are in here holding them. And look at here in the back, you can see these Chosen of the Gods are still nice and healthy. They are shooting at that Glady up on top of that Eagle. And I really like her on top. Oh man, I love the way that looks. And this Glady is getting super low. We're trying to take out that group of skeleton archers. They still had a ton of ammo left, so we have to get them off the field. But I think at that point, oh my god, a dweller's below here, and look at the health damage it'll do. We're charging in with the spell singer as well, and we're trying to kill those chosen of the gods so quickly. You see it took them down about almost a half health. But during that time, they've routed off the Glady. She's down to 300 health. You see here, we're going to start trying to bring our units together. We've got a few units in the back. We've got some Glade Guard firing in, etc. The Weight Watchers over here, we've got them kind of trapped in between us while we shoot out. And Settra is trying to get up top. He's going to try to go kill off that Spell Singer of Life and end the game. So Shadow Online Gaming doing so well here, so close. I mean, you can see here we're getting some shots in from these returned Glade Guard. They're taking shots at these Ushapti, but I mean, Settra is right here in the middle. Everyone's swarming in. You can see just everyone surrounding Settra. There's spearmen, skeleton spearmen coming in to support. Settra's down to 500 health, but oh my god, Settra is just blasting through, still alive, gaining health every second. 400 down to 400 now. And if we can get these Wardancers, oh, and the Wardancers are broken off. A second group of Wardancers is shaken. They're broken. And even though Settra is down to 270 health, he is still alive. At the same time, you can see the Spell Singer of Life comes in here. We have to kill Settra. At this point, the Spell Singer finally, I think, takes down Settra. You see that. You see Settra crumble and fall on top of that Chimerian Warsphinx. Here we go. The Chosen of the Gods are in here trying to take this Spell Singer of Life down. But that Settra going down brings it heavily into my favor. We can see the Glade Lord Glady over there, 300 health. She's coming back. She was not routed off. So that's why we've still got so much leadership here. Even though the Spell Singer of Life is down, you can see we've got more units, Eternal Guard routing off the field. These Chosen of the Gods and these Ushapti are still pretty healthy, and we do not have much left. Look at this. These Way Watchers are out of ammunition. Here in the back, you can see we do have some Way Watchers that just returned from route. A few Eternal Guard with shields, but I mean, these guys are pretty much out of ammo as well. And these Glade Guard with Haggrane tips also just ran out of ammo. So even though the balance of power is heavily in my favor, all we have is archer units that we have to get in and kill these Chosen of the Gods. And I don't know if you guys have ever tried to kill the Chosen of the Gods. These guys are awesome. I mean, they're super strong. You can see them here. They're just going to be fighting in. They're just chopping apart those Way Watchers, and they're going to be. I mean, they're just super intense. But at the same time, the balance power is pretty heavily in my favor still. You see, this group of Ushapti is actually starting to crumble. They're down to 200 health. Down they go. That leaves, I think, army losses. This last group, Chosen of the Gods, they're going to start dropping. We've still got some units remaining. You can see just a little tattered piece of my army remaining there. So let's go ahead and oh, such a close battle. Let's go ahead and take a look at the post-game wrap-up. So you can see me against Shadow Online Gaming, 819 losses, of course, because he's the Tomb Kings, and they do not retreat. And we kept that Glady. Look at that sliver of health on each of those heroes. I mean, it was just so close. I mean, if this Tomb Scorpion had been with his army, instead of getting caught over there on the side, I'm sure that game would have went in Shadow's favor. Luckily for me, we were able to use those Way Watchers and the Glady up on that Eagle to catch and kill the Tomb Scorpion and one of those groups of Skeleton Horsemen so early. I mean, we were just able to crush them to pieces. A second group of Skeleton Horsemen, it got no kills, but that's because it was fighting that Spell Singer of Life the whole time. He did cause me to use up one of my, a lot of my Winds of Magic on one of those Dwellers Below to protect my Spell Singer. And so that was actually, even though I was there in the forest, he was able to catch me and do some damage with one of those groups of Skeleton Horsemen. The second group did get killed, though, with that Tomb Scorpion. You saw the Way Watchers were a big part. They were able to do a huge damage on Settra. They really did damage on every single unit across the field. You saw we were able to get the Glady in there to kill that Casket of Souls one-on-one. That was super helpful. But really, all it came down to was just we had a little bit more mobility, and we were able to kill that Tomb Scorpion early. You see his Ushapti, 108 kills, 50 kills on the Chosen of the Gods. I mean, 50 kills on the Casket of Souls, 100 kills with Settra. He was just bounding in and out. And look at the number of kills on these Nakarian warriors. 73, 68, 55. I mean, it was tons of kills all around. Luckily for me, we were able to kind of stop the skeleton archers a little bit. We were able to get in the back lines. We used the wild riders in there. And we were able to just do some really, really good damage. Overall, I mean, the Spellsinger of Life, I think I could have probably used it a little bit better. I think I used the Dwellers Below probably on some pretty poor places, just because I was microing so heavy to keep up with all of the changes that were going on. You see, we did get some good damage with these 106 kills Wardancers, 57 with this group. So that's like 160 kills with this group of Wardancers, with these two groups of Wardancers alone, and another 57 with this group of Gladeguard. I mean, so you saw we got really good kills with most of our units, but there was a lot of skeleton units as well. I mean, 800 skeletons, that's a lot of kills to go around. Either way, it was a great game. You can see that now we are 3-1, 3 wins, 1 loss in the first round of Shadow Online Gaming's tournament here. If you guys haven't already, you can see that Shadow's a great guy, great player, great organizer. So go ahead and check out his channel, Shadow Online Gaming, on YouTube. And, you know, go ahead and subscribe to mine below if you want to see more of this great online content. Thank you guys all so much for watching, for supporting my channel. I know that you guys have given some suggestions, but I've just had so many tournaments and stuff going on lately to put up, but I promise I've been getting some cool stuff going on that I'm gonna also get up for you guys soon. Thanks again for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it. This is Black Iron, and this has been another one of Black Iron's Battles.